Good evening and welcome to Focus Point. The world continues to watch with bated breath as the megastructure being built on behalf of the mysterious supreme intelligence known as Zorgo is well underway. No military force has been able to penetrate the structure's containment field, and no government has been able to establish a line of communication with the entity or its followers. But for the first time since construction broke ground, Focus Point has been granted exclusive access to the site of the structure and to those that are building it. Tonight we take you inside the Church of Z. To first understand this newfound religion and the deity it serves, we must go back to where the story began. Gummo Corp headquarters in Lakewood, New Jersey. Gummo Corp was just a small mom-and-pop gumball corporation, who most of us remember from their ill-conceived adverts.
Gummo Corp. We don't make gumballs for widows.
Despite their inexplicable marketing and plummeting sales, Gummo Corp still pledged to be the world's most advanced gumball manufacturer. And it was this desire to lead in gumball innovation that would change everything forever.
What we were trying to do was make the gumballs more orange, but what we did instead was open a rift in the space-time continuum, unleashing a godlike entity. You know, it happens.
At first, Zorgo was only used in the company's efforts to make the world's perfect gumball, but it wasn't long before world leaders demanded access to the being, with military officials calling for more extreme actions.
I think we should shoot it in the face, if it has a face. We find that when you shoot most things in the face, they stop being a problem.
With growing hostilities from the outside, Zorgo stopped communicating with everyone, including the top brass at Gummo Corp. But one man seemed to win favor with the being Joey Rodelio. Joey was a janitor at the company, whose late-night shifts cleaning the lab gave him unrestricted access to Zorgo.
Back in high school, Joey would climb up into the air ducts and get himself stuck because, you know, he was trying to peek in on the girls' locker room. Luckily, none of those vents actually went into the locker room, but that didn't stop Joey from crawling up there and trying over and over again. He's a real piece of shit.
Despite Joey being a piece of shit, Zorgo didn't seem to mind. Joey was deemed a disciple and set to begin his life's true work. He was instructed to head to rural Wyoming, where he was to gather a commune of true believers, and they were to begin work on a structure that would generate an energy unheard of by science, an energy that would allow for Zorgo to take physical form. Zorgo gave the commune blueprints for building a containment field, which was set up in a 3-mile radius around the site, protecting their work, only letting in who or what Zorgo deemed worthy. Those who have been invited to the commune thus far were called there by unknown methods. But we here at Focus Point were invited by postcard from the entity itself. Our field reporter Brian Druckel was brave enough to volunteer to be the one to make contact with the church.
So I'm now standing within the containment field just outside the commune. While most of the world remains afraid and unsure, those that have been let in this newfound church are 100% confident in the entity and its intentions. But no one is a bigger believer than the church's leader, the high priest, Joey Rodelio, who prefers to go by the Baba Hermini. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us, Baba Hermini.
Zorgo knows all.
First, why do you think Zorgo chose you as the Baba Hermini?
I'm a man of the people, a people man. I used to be a peeping man, but I don't peep anymore, at least not as much as I used to.
And how many people are here at the commune?
You know, I don't really know. I try not to interact with them too much unless I find them physically attractive.
Why do you think the entity invited Focus Point in?
Zorgo wants the world to know there is nothing to fear here, unless you have a fear of syphilis, in which case there is an alarming outbreak within the community right now.
Can you tell us about the outfits?
Pretty cool, huh? It was my idea. Orange and black, the colors of paradise.
I must say, they do sort of resemble the uniforms that prisoners wear.
Yeah, prisoners in a cage of freedom.
Do you know where Zorgo is from?
I haven't asked. Based on the accent, though. Maybe Norway?
What have you asked Zorgo?
What have I asked? Oh, I asked what that dangly thing in our throat is called.
The uvula?
Yeah, that thing. I always forget what that is.
What does it mean to follow Zorgo?
I think if you ask around a little bit, you'll answer your own question. And you'll also see we've got a pretty sweet setup here.
I've loved it so far. Me and my wife got here a couple months ago. We turned over all our earthly belongings to the Baba Hermini, which is a load off my chest. All that money was just sitting in a bank account, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Where is your wife?
It's actually a really funny story. Pretty much immediately when we got here, she fell in love with the high priest, and so they've been having sex almost every day. So yeah, right now I'd say it's safe to assume she's having sex with another man.
Do Do you feel lucky to be chosen by Zorgo to be in the church?
Look, I'm super happy that Zorknob invited me here and all, but I'm really just here for the drugs. I haven't found any yet, but you just have to imagine there's some silly drug use going on here, somewhere.
While followers seemed somewhat content, from an outside perspective, some of the commune's practices still seemed unorthodox.
The practices of your church here, is this what Zorgo demands of you all?
Zorgo really just wants us to be building the big scary tower thing. Everything else, the day-to-day sex stuff, that's me. Like having sex with other people's wives, that was my idea. Taking people's money for myself, I came up with that. Having them shower me in daily compliments about my slender hips, I'm sure you've noticed. You can look now if you like, I see your eyes shifting around.
Some of these practices seem very similar to what we might see in a cult.
Yes, absolutely, so kind of you to say.
Most people just want to know, what is Zorgo's ultimate plan?
Zorgo wants to give humanity the gift of not only our Lord's physical presence, but also of limitless power and energy via this monolithic structure, so that we may become children of the stars and venture to distant worlds where we could meet other planetary species and have sex with their wives.
While the promises made by the entity might sound great, many are worried what building the structure and creating this exotic energy might do.
We have no clue what kind of impact this energy source might have on our environment, let alone us. When this thing is turned on, the world might not look the same. Humanity might not look the same.
The church pushes forward despite the concerns.
So you are fine with everything that is happening here?
I truly believe Zorgo will bring us to the promised land, and I'll do whatever I can to help humanity get there. And if that means my wife has to have sex with another man every once in an hour, so be it. You know, some husbands are into that. Not me, unfortunately. For me, it's emotionally devastating.
I don't care what's happening here. I care about drugs, and I haven't found a damn thing. Are you telling me none of these people are high? That everyone's walking around like a bunch of Halloween pumpkins building a giant dildo for Zigblor without a mind-altering substance in their body? This is bull.
You aren't worried about what this might do, that Zorgo might be misleading you.
What are you trying to say? This supreme intelligence is just using me like I'm some kind of dolphin-brained idiot to do their bidding that is going to bring about the end times. I'm the goddamn Baba Hermini. I came up with the idea for The Godfather after it came out, but before I saw it. So I think I can handle this.
Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Zorgo knows all.
Thank you for your time.
The fate of the world might just be in the hands of a complete pervert. God help us all. That's it for Focus Point. Join us tomorrow night where we investigate if smoking can cure lung cancer. Everything points to absolutely